So today my kitchen is a little bit of a mess, but I just thought I would explain what we're doing. I'm cooking as well as processing other things. So today I'm having a messy bun, get stuff done kind of day. It's a very productive day. And productive days for me, yes, they started with a shower today, but it doesn't include hair and makeup and what fancy clothes because we're having a day at home today. And so if you are watching from outside of the UK, I'm not sure if you'll understand this or if you've got something equivalent, but here in the UK there is an app called Olio or Olio, Olio, and it's an app where people can list things like anything. It started off with food, I think, and now it's kind of like anything that you can list things for free. You're not allowed to sell on there. You're allowed to list things for free. It's a bit like Free Cycle, I guess, but for food and for other items. And as I say, it mainly started with food. And I am a food waste hero. And what that means is I actually go to supermarkets. I'm registered as this and I've done the training as this. Not just everybody can turn up at a supermarket and get stuff. But yeah, I go to a supermarket once a week. Sometimes I cover for people. My designated supermarket. And I get given all of the things that are going out of date that day, and whether that's use by or best before. So I rescue the food that would have otherwise gone to landfill, and then I come home and I list it on the app, and then neighbours and whoever, can look at the app and request what I've got. So the use by stuff obviously has to go that same day. So I pick up about 8:30 at night. And it's listed by 9 o'clock at night, and then people come and collect it, and like there's meat, there's dairy, there's sandwiches, there's all kinds of things, vegetables, bread, so many different things as you can possibly imagine. So yeah, the use by stuff that has to go that same day. And most of my neighbours, we don't eat meat or anything, and so they love it. So all the meat gets listed and gives away. We're allowed to keep, as a food waste hero, we're allowed to take 10% of what we collect as our, I want to say wages, our thank you for kind of using our petrol and our time to go and get this stuff and distribute it to other people. But obviously we get first pick as well, because we can save 10%, but we get first pick. But as I said, because we are vegetarians, I don't keep the meat. A lot of other food waste heroes keep the meat. So my neighbours are very happy because the meat goes. And yeah, they pick it up from me at 9 o'clock at night, and they take the mince or the chicken breast or whatever, and they take it home and they chuck it in their freezer, so all's good. Vegetables, I keep quite a few vegetables. Obviously I distribute them as well because there's lots, and the vegetables, they have a best before rather than a use by. So best before stuff, you do the look test, the sniff test, all of that kind of stuff, and if there's no sign of decay or mold or anything, you're good to go with vegetables. And the same with the breads and things. The breads kind of last for quite a long time until they go moldy. But this week I didn't. This week was was half term here in the UK, and so I had very few people requesting from me this week, and that means that I have been left with a ton of bread. This particular collection I did this week didn't have any meat in it, and it hardly had any vegetables in it, and it was pretty much all bread. And some people have requested the bread, and there's literally only so much bread that people can eat and put in their freezers and all that kind of stuff, and I've got some in my freezer. So when food is not requested like that, obviously you're then allowed to keep it. So you take your 10% of your first, take the 10% from your first pick of collection, and then anything that's not requested, you try your best to kind of distribute it. Sometimes I get a massive glut of sandwiches, and I'll contact a homeless charity in the area, and move the sandwiches on there or what have you. But yeah, you do your best, but sometimes you are left with things. And believe me, there's always a ton of bread. So we have moved on, as you probably know, to our ancient Egyptian theme. That is my daughter's specialist subject. She absolutely loves ancient Egypt. And they wanted to play tray. They want, oh yeah, I said we've changed the poster. I don't know if you watched my other videos, but we had the space poster just there. And that's now been changed to Ancient Egypt. And they've asked for a sensory play tray with an Ancient Egypt theme. So that's been fun. And I was thinking sand. We don't have any sand. What can I use as sand? And then I thought, breadcrumbs. We've got a lot of bread. Let's make some breadcrumbs. So when I say I've got a lot of bread left over this week, this isn't all of it that was being left. Some of it we've eaten. This is kind of what's been left, and it's a variety of buns and croissants and loaves of bread and some baguettes. As I say, we've eaten some because it was half term. It just wasn't really requested. So yeah, I'm gonna scooch you over my messy floor because I actually swept this floor today, but because we've been doing breadcrumbs, it is now a complete tip. So we do actually have in the oven, we have some salt dough baking, which is taking forever. So I chucked in some chunks of bread. Actually, it was baguette. I chucked that in the oven on a low heat, on a pizza tray, so it's got holes in the bottom. To dry it, and then I whacked it in my food processor to blitz it up. And then I know this is like how extra I've been today. Then used my sieve to sieve it out. So that means I've now been left with 2 different boxes, which is absolutely cool because it means that we've got like some different textures. So this is the coarse breadcrumbs. And then we've got the fine breadcrumbs, which looks way more like sand. And it's super lovely. I love that. And yeah, I'm also like cooking dinner at the same time. So yeah, I need to clean my kitchen again. My kids love to help cook. That does often mean a messy kitchen. So our friend very kindly gave us this a year or 2 ago, and we have used it so much. For various different things. So as I said, I've already got some bread in the oven, but I also actually need to use my oven now for our dinner. So I thought we could put some of the bread in the dehydrator, and see how that goes. That's a whole loaf of bread in there, plus a little bit of extra baguette, probably like 1/3 of a baguette in there. So the baguette, I think, because the baguette had quite crusty. What do we call it? Excuse me, crusty outer thingy. That's probably why it didn't blend up quite so well. So it's a bit crusty. But I actually think that's quite cool. That gives 2 different textures to play with there. Then yesterday, I'll just move this out of the way. This is totally empty. My salt needs some new salt. We use this for the salt dough, which I will show you in a bit. I'm just boiling the kettle for a cup of tea actually, so I hope that's not too noisy. Didn't actually think, part videoing there. So yeah, I'll show you the salt dough in a minute because I'm just going to get that out of the oven because I need the oven. We made papier-mâché yesterday. So I went on to Twinkle and I printed out a pyramid template on crappy card. As you can see, it's got stuff on the other side because we wouldn't see it. So we have like a bin that we keep scrap bits in. So but the card, my idea was like we'll make the pyramid out of card and then they can paint it, right? It wasn't sturdy enough, and I thought they are gonna get a bit of bashing in the play tray. So and also another activity with the kids. The kids cut these out and stuck them together, by the way. We did papier-mâché. So we've got some papier-mâché pyramids. And actually it was I burnt some of them. I dry my papier-mâché if I can, if it's not got foil or a balloon on it or something. Where I can, I dry papier-mâché in the microwave for a bit in between each layer because it just speeds the process up. But yeah, I burnt it. But it's okay. I think that adds to like the vintage look. Oh good, there's a noisy toy just come out. So yeah, I think that helps to kind of make it look a bit more vintage and things. And it was actually a really good experiment because they realised how hard it is to sort of construct a pyramid. So that was quite a good learning curve, as well as creativity. And that led us on to this activity. Again, this was from Twinkle. So we did the making pyramids, just looking at different construction methods and things. This is the work that we've done so far. I haven't had any of it bound. Normally my daughter likes to have all her work stuff bound together first, but I haven't been able to print everything out yet, and I am drip printing. There's another thing about pyramid construction. We didn't actually get round to doing yesterday. It was quite a busy day. Here, so looking at the different types of pyramid and how they were constructed. So yeah, that ended up being quite a cool activity, and we got the Duplo bricks out and made pyramids with blocks. So yeah, that ended up being like that. Making those papier-mâché pyramids ended up turning out into being like quite a cool activity to looking at pyramid construction and maths. Yeah, I do very well know that I talk a lot. That is both I talk a lot, I can talk quite fast, I can share a lot of information, and that is both my ADHD and my autism conflicting with each other. Like, I've got so much I want to say because like I'm totally into this stuff and I like to gather information and share. So that's what's going on there. So we've got our sand, we've got our pyramids. I'll show you the salt dough in a minute. Last night my daughter asked me if I could make some more peg dolls. Now I'm going to show you my peg dolls. I tried really hard. At first I was like, yes, I'm going to do Tutankhamun, because we have been looking a lot of Tutankhamun. Obviously, it was 100 years since then they found the tomb in at the end of last year, and so we've been looking at Howard Carter and Tutankhamun, and I was like, oh, I'm going to do Tutankhamun, and then I was like, yeah, right, got that, and then I was like, okay, so this is his death mask, so I think I'll be playing with dead Tutankhamun, and then I had all this like inner turmoil, so then I tried to do a bit of research, and yeah, I don't know how well it did, and I'm going to show you, okay, if I offend you in any way, please do accept my apologies. I tried really hard to get it right, and as I say, I'd already started painting, and yeah, so I'm going to show you, and I just really hope that it's not offensive in any way. If it is, just please know that I had very best intentions. Yeah, they requested, so both of my children love sensory play, and they really enjoy like art and crafts and things, and also like the sensory play, like we did Space, and prior to that we did Narnia because we were looking at the Narnia book. They find it a really good way, like doing small world play, they find it really, that's what they enjoy doing, and they find that a really good way to learn. So yeah, that is the reason behind it, and I just don't want to offend anyone. Okay, I'm going to show you. So this is my male pharaoh. Yeah, so I'm not the best, like, can you see that? I'm trying to focus it for you. It's quite dull, isn't it? My chip nail varnish, look at that. So yeah, there's one, and there's two. I've only done two. So they're fiddly, aren't they? Even though these are large, they're so fiddly to paint. So yeah, we have got those. I was going to print out maybe some other, like, maybe go onto Twinkle and print out some like other Egyptian imagery. I don't know, maybe some hieroglyphs or something, and laminate them and put them in the play tray. But yeah, you've got to think about what else. But let me show you the salt dough, and then I'm going to shut up for a while, and then I will then come back and show you what the entire play tray looks like. Okay, so this is my daughter's salt dough. She wanted to make it out of clay. We didn't have any clay left because we did some clay the other day, and so yeah, so she made a sphinx out of salt dough. Now this baby has been cooking for so long, but the underside is still not cooked, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, she's she was super happy with it. I think it's super happy with it. You know, like, it's really good to sew. Like, she, you know, we learnt about the Sphinx, and she looked at photos, looked at it in the book, studied it, and then, yeah, that is just like learning at its best, isn't it, doing an artistic study like that. So yeah, super awesome, super awesome. I've also got some yellow split peas. We don't have them very often in this house because I'm the only one that likes them, so I might chuck those in the plain tray as well. And also, I forgot to say, we did have, again from Olio, there was some gluten-free Weetabix, and no one requested them, so I ended up keeping them, and then no one in our house liked them, and they went out of date in August, but they're not mouldy, they're absolutely fine, you know, it's dry, they just got drier. So I've also blitzed them up, so yeah, I might even save them for something or add them to this, I'm not sure, but anyway, just showing you. So the lighting, it's evening time, the lighting is pretty crappy in here, but hopefully that gives you a fairly good look at it. So I've got some tissue paper and some shiny ribbon to represent the Nile, and we've got our coarse breadcrumbs and our soft breadcrumbs, which this is just like sand. It's really lovely. We had a lot, so I've saved, and we've still got some more bread as well. This is how much, like, as you know, would literally go into landfill. So we've saved some. I'm going to put out for the birds, and I have put some glitter in this. I suddenly thought if I put I wanted to put glitter in as another sensory element, but I suddenly thought I can't put that out for the birds if I do. So I saved some for the birds, but just remember this would have been going into landfill anyway. So it's had another life. So yeah, coarse sand, soft sand, we've got our pyramids, the Sphinx that my daughter made, got a couple of the scoops to play with. I printed out from Twinkle some different things that I've laminated. Got my 2 big dolls there, and this little clay bowl has got jewels on it which we've made ages ago, and I've just put random bit of paper. I've just put a load of sequins in there to kind of represent jewels and things that would have been in the tomb. So there we go. That is our Egyptian sensory tray, and I just wanted to show you it now, even though the light's crappy, before it gets played with and looks nothing like this.